Hey, what's going on, YouTube? So I'm in the new KVK, the Rise of the Dragon. We just had the statue zone open. Looking forward to the first actual statue fights tomorrow. What I'm really looking forward to is the Zone 2 passes, because we should have a very good, very competitive Zone 2 fight against BNR. Probably the highlight of our season. If you haven't heard, our season went a little foobar. We're going to make the best of it. Like I said, we'll have a great Zone 2 fight, and, we'll figure out the rest as we go on. But a couple things about this season. First of all, this is the first season that you have the full merit shop right from the beginning. And, I rolled a pretty good merit shop this week. But this means that you need a lot of merits right from the start, even before you're in actual fighting against another kingdom. And the other thing with the seasonal policies, you have this thing called timeless treasury that allows you to buy, among other things, elixir. And you can even get a policy later on that'll essentially allow you to buy it twice a week. But it costs a lot of merits to buy out the store. I think it's like 2 million merits, if I recall correctly, from the last time we did this KBK. Well, that's great, but it means even early on, before you're fighting, you gotta generate a lot of merits. Alright, so do your merit trading, etc. It's not fun. I hate having to do that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You play Battle Abyss or whatever, that helps as well. But an alliance member of mine had a really interesting idea. And his thought was, hey, we have all these farm accounts. They don't really have troops on them, so you can't farm your farm accounts for any meaningful merits. But there might be a way using the seasonal talents to get some extra merits here. And so that's what I want to talk through in this video. Okay, so first of all, let's talk through the seasonal talents here. And basically you have three choices of an A or B each, right? You choose either Raise Remedy or Fighting Phantasm. Same thing with Dimensional Duel or Temporal Trap. And finally, Seasonal Shift and Timeless Treasury. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then as you go around again, as you earn more seasonal currency, you can upgrade each of these. So let's go through each of these right now, discuss what you should choose, and how to upgrade them, right? So the first level, Raise of Remedy. This is great. This is actually very similar to the Warlord buff from last season. Basically, it's going to heal you. When you activate it, it's going to heal your legions anytime they break combat. Alright, I strongly recommend Raise of Remedy for every fighting account. And when you build it up, how you do it, on the first level, I really like Impetus, because it gives me the extra attack as long as the skill's in effect. Now, the skill lasts 30 minutes. What you'll find is most of the time you're going to use up the healing before the 30 minutes is done. But if you choose this, at least you get a nice 15% attack buff for those 30 minutes. Look, I don't need more merits. My account gets plenty of merits. Even with the demand for merits this season, I don't recommend meritorious conduct. And Preservation of Life, less hospital's nice, but I'd rather do more damage. On the second level, we have Diligence. Reducing the energy cost is relevant. You will run out of energy this season when you use this skill a lot, so this isn't bad. I don't like further healing. Normally you heal at 50%. This increases to 60%. But there's a healing cap of 1 million that you're going to hit anyway. This just allows you to get to that cap quicker. So I don't think this is good. And what I choose on the second level is Unending to increase the duration by 10 minutes. Even though I'm going to hit the cap within the 30 minutes, by increasing the duration, I'm going to get this buff for a longer period of time. And the last level will either have Momentum, which basically takes away the healing, but you get a damage buff if you stack up a lot of kills. This is really interesting if you run really sort of tanky sustain marches. Kuma might be interesting. Certainly Mu, Thea, something like that. Or if you run a heal ball with your mages, could be interesting here. However, I strongly recommend Energy Absorption. It decreases the healing to only 800,000, but you don't need to break combat anymore. It heals you in step, if you will. That's very powerful. So that's how I'm going to build out Impetus, Unending, Energy Absorption. Now, Fighting Phantasm, this basically summons a little phantasm that fights for you. I don't like this. The good thing about this is you can summon this in addition to your normal legions, so you can have 6 legions on the field. Okay, but otherwise, I think this is for your weak account. Maybe if you're an underpowered player but still trying to participate in the KVK, you take this. But the other thing you do is you take this on your farm accounts. Now, I don't really think I'm going to fight my farms much, but these phantasms, when you kill them, they give you merits, and that's the trick my alliance member pointed out. Hey, have your farms summon these phantasms. They give you merits when you kill them with your main account, no one's taking any sev wounds. I mean, your main account will take a few just from the counterattack or whatever. But like the phantasms don't give your farm sev wounds, so that's a way to get additional merits. That's the good idea, and we'll talk through that a little bit later on. So building out, you can either guarantee a melee legion or a ranged legion or gathering of forces, which makes it have more legions in it. Take this one because it'll make your phantasm bigger, so you'll get more merits when you kill it. The next two levels don't really matter. You can get a legendary war pet or a legendary hero or a legendary artifact. If you're using this with a lower power count to a fight, I would say get the artifact or maybe the hero. The war pet just seems too random to me. And the final level, basically, it can boost your surrounding legions. So if you are a lower power count, I think I would take this one. Or you can make this one legion a lot stronger, but it's still just one random legion. So I don't like Fury's Force. I think Military Might's a lot better. Now the second level is Dimensional Duel versus Temporal Trap. I generally find that if you're an infantry player, Temporal Trap is better. And if you're an aggressive player, particularly if you're a cav player, you want Dimensional Duel. Alright, the thing about Dimensional Duel, 25 times this season, you're going to get pissed off because someone dueled you. And you're going to wonder why you can't move your legion all of a sudden, and you're going, oh, they're in a duel. As a cav player, this is what I'm taking. So how am I going to build this out? On the first lever, you got Skybreaker, which you deal a little more damage, or you get a light heal when you win the duel, or you move faster. So if you want to go duel someone and run away, you take Swift Shadow. Or if I think I need a little boost to win the duel, I take this. But I'm going to take Victory March because I'm going to win the duel, but I'll take some counterattack damage, etc. And this will just help me be at full strength when I win the duel to fight the next one. Okay, the second level, we can either increase the skill casting range by 1/4, or we can reduce the cooldown by 20 minutes, or you can get more merits. Like I said, I don't need more merits. Reducing the cooldown's okay. I often found that this was a difficult skill to cast in the heat of battle, and getting the skill casting range up a little bit is helpful, so this is what I'll take here. And then the final level, either when I win a duel, I can do more damage for 60 seconds, okay, or when I win a duel, I can duel summon again instantly. Basically, I get to do 2 duels instead of 1. This is what I'll do, right? So I'll send my Cav Legion in, I'll pick on some, unsuspecting Archer or Mage March, I'll duel them, I'll win, and then I get to duel another one immediately. Okay, other level, Temporal Trap. Temporal Trap basically turns you and surrounding legions into a block of ice. Basically, it's the Frost Ring, but like an AoE Frost Ring. And I really recommend this for your infantry legions. And of course, the great trick here, basically with this, you can abuse it to get the blink and the frost ring on a single march. It's great. I love it. Okay, first level, we can either heal units while we're frosted, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to do this at the beginning of battle, so I don't like that. Or we can make enemy legions slow down for 10 seconds. That's okay, but I really like Frost Armor. We get a 20% damage reduction buff for 10 seconds. That's great. Ideally, everyone's in zoom mode when this happens anyway. I blink in, I block a lot of enemy legions, and then I freeze. They're all trying to target me while I'm in, for 10 seconds while I'm in a block of ice. And then they're all still targeting me when the ice wears off. But I've got this, so I last a really, really long time. I block a lot of people on that key choke point. Okay, so that's what I'm taking on the first level. The second level, I can either freeze more legions. That's okay. Or I can reduce the cooldown by 20 minutes, also okay. Or I can increase the duration from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Yep, I'm going here, right? The last level is very important. You can either make it so you only freeze your legions, or you only freeze the enemy legions. But think about how you want to use this. I've already described to you how I'm going to use it. I'm going to use this with my tanks to abuse people on choke points. I only want to freeze friendly legions, because all those enemy legions I trap, they're going to be slaughtered by the DPS behind me, right? So I strongly recommend you take Timely Aid on this level. Alright, the third and final level, Timeless Treasury versus Seasonal Shift. Okay, Seasonal Shift, this is what your farms want. What it does is it refreshes all your resource production buildings to maximum. And it basically, you can use this once a day. So what you do is you log into your farms whenever you log into them, collect all the resources, pop this, it only costs 5 energy. All your resource buildings are full again, you collect from them again, basically double collection every day. That's nice. Okay, so how do you build it out? It doesn't matter that much because you really shouldn't be using this on a real fighting account. You should be using this on your farm accounts. So the first level, we can make it so we can leave the city even if we have negative 40 stamina. That's interesting, but this is for my farm accounts. I'm not doing that. Or I can get my stamina recovery up. My farms never have stamina problem. Or I can gather a little faster. Yeah, this one. Let's gather a little faster. The second level, get instant 6-hour elixir production, but only a maximum 80,000. Or we can instantly finish the policy we're working on. Or we can summon the Goblin Merchant. I don't really care about any of these. My farms don't really work on policies after they get a couple key ones early on. They don't buy much from the Goblin Merchant, and they don't take a lot of wounded. Now look, every so often something will happen and my farms will get wounded, so I do take this one, but honestly this level doesn't matter. And the final level, we can either get a warrant. This would be great if it was for the account, like my strong power accounts, but this whole thing is not for the power accounts, so I don't like the warrants. Or every time I do this, I can get a 24-hour city shield. Hey, that's actually kind of interesting. Now, the thing about this is I haven't footstopped this enough. This is for the farm accounts, and my farm accounts usually don't progress this far enough to get to this last level. If I got here, I'd take Great Wall. Okay, the thing you do want to take with your strong accounts is Timeless Treasury. This basically gives you an additional merit shop that you can buy, a couple things on. I wish this was more varied, but there are some good stuff in here that you'd want, particularly Elixir, all right? Okay, the first level, you can either get more command point items. Okay, that's nice. Or you can get more prestige items. Yeah, I got enough prestige, thanks. Or I can get more Elixir items. You probably want more Elixir items. Now, if you're in a KVK like mine that got foobarred, I'm at least going to think about the more command point items because, the last time I did this, I bought as much elixir as I could for the final zone. Our final zone, I don't know how it's going to go, so I'm going to think about this, but most people want that. The second level, I can get more Nien. This is terrible. Don't get this. You've only got a few more levels to go by the time you get here. You're going to get that Nien anyway, and there's no Nien dump or no Nien sink in the season. So this is useless. Don't get that. You can get mana available for sale. That's probably pretty good. But what I get is the extra warrants. Obviously, I love that. I'm a pet guy. A way to get, not free, you got to spend merits, but a way to get extra warrants every week. That's awesome. I love that. The last level depends on the level of merits you're getting. The Timeless Treasury is super expensive. Like I said, it's about 2 million to buy it out. And if that's a lot of merits for you, you might want to get Mercantile Benevolence to reduce the price of the items here. But if you're getting a crazy amount of merits, like 5 million a week or more, you want Merchant's Boom. That way you can refresh this and get it twice. Very expensive, but if you have the merits, this is the way to go. Okay, so the trick I mentioned before. Have your farm accounts spec into Fighting Phantasm, and when they're able to upgrade it, choose Gathering of Forces. You can summon it once every couple hours. You can get the cooldown later on through your policies. And then basically just have your main account kill that Fighting Phantasm. Your farm doesn't take Sev wounds, your main account takes very limited Sev wounds. and you get a decent amount of merits from it. It's not amazing, but it is just an additional way to generate a few additional merits using your farm account. Okay, so here's the merit report I got from fighting my farms, and this was against 4 farms that I fought. You know, the only cost to me, other than the time to set it up, was a very low amount of sev wounds here, like, 28,000 essentially. Okay, it's not nothing, but it's not a lot. For, essentially 67,000 merits. Now that's going to vary a bit, but it's also going to increase later on when I manage to upgrade the farm, the additional 50,000 troops from my farm. So, not amazing, but it's okay. You need a lot of merits this season. This is an easy way just to get some additional merits if you have a number of farm accounts. And hey, that's all I got for you today. And until next time, you stay classy, Belleron.